That's right. So those of you who following podcasts closely may remember we had a very unique podcast about dolphins. I'm not joking. We had a podcast about dolphins and their assessment of their C15 level and how that led to the discovery of C15 being so critical in our health. We just recorded a second podcast, a little preview. If you're over 65 and you're worried about cognitive decline, I don't care what your level is, start taking C15, period. Because turns out, this is a critical information, turns out that C15 is the only known natural side effect free molecule, let's call it that way, that can lower FAAH. Now, FAAH is a critical molecule that leads to the breakdown of endocannabinoids. And with any cognitive decline, FAH goes up in time. No one understands exactly why, but it's been one of the largest pharmaceutical targets because the expectation is that could completely reverse cognitive decline because endocannabinoid tone is probably the number one regulator of the cognitive function. That's what we think at the moment. And because hasn't been any pharmaceutical targets to lower FAH, just the fact that C15 can do it potentially could mean that every person over, say, 55 should probably be start taking C15 theoretically. So we'll obviously, when the podcast comes out, I'll give you a little bit more details on this. We don't have any clinical data to suggest that what I just said will have a benefit, but I expect that that will just be the matter of time. Of course, I immediately propose clinical trial to the Stephanie who we talked to, who's the founder and CEO of the company that makes C15. But the trials like this always take more time than we want. Meantime, this is one case where I think if you're concerned about this, just start taking. And I'm happy if you're my patient, I'm happy to send you the information about it. Moreover, we just learned that C15 is going to go on full script sometime in the next couple of weeks, so that'll also going to make it easier to get from the same place where you're already buying supplements. So C15 is a fatty acid. It's an essential fatty acid that is a saturated fatty acid. We used to think that all saturated fats were bad. Turns out that's a total nonsense. And C15 is actually, at this point, I can easily call it an essential fatty acid. Our body can make small amount of it in the gut with microbiome, but it's not sufficient. So the only food source of C15 is dairy. And that is maybe one of the reasons why we're seeing increase in deficiency. The study that we just finished, we analyzing data right now, showing that very high proportion of our patients at CIM is C15 deficient. But that's also a problem because we don't even know what the true deficiency versus optimal state actually is. We know what deficiency is, but it's possible that instead of that, we need to converse about optimal levels, and optimal levels could be potentially much, much higher than deficiency level. So I'm sure in the next couple of years, this is going to be clarified. It's a very hot topic of research. There are 6 randomized control trials ongoing. There are thousands of publications that have been produced in last year on C15. So if you just as geeky as me regarding topics like this, I encourage you to do your own geeky research. But meantime, of course, I'll be keeping you updates. And the moment podcast is out, mark my word, I'll tell you more about it. So with that, I don't want to take a lot of time from Ed. Ed, thank you so much. It's always lovely for you to be here. Let's do no more than 5 minutes of questions. I think I'm already 2 minutes over time. So you know the drill, drop the question. Well, all right, C15 I already answered. So drop the questions in the chat, or I believe that you can actually just unmute yourself because we allowed that for now. We haven't been Zoom bumped in a couple of months, so hopefully it'll stay that way. Oh, and if there is no questions, that's perfectly fine. I'm sure Ed will be more than happy to do a longer session. And again, as I said always, if you my patient stay after at 3 o'clock, we can do a little personal medical consult for a couple of minutes each. All right. Well, I don't see any questions. A little a little quiet public today. That's okay. That's fine. Um, all right. Well, question to you guys. Anybody who takes C15, raise your hand. And you know how to do that, right? There's a reaction box. So if you click on react, there's a way to raise hand. Now I will put my hand up because I don't take it every day. I take once or twice a week. It's 100 milligrams per capsule, but I eat a good amount of dairy and my level is very healthy. So where are people getting data from about COVID? Yeah, good one. Okay, you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Chat GPT for me because it just synthesizes all the news in one place for me. I no longer try to, because CDC is outdated. Regular searches, Hopkins Center is, I think, also shut down. So it's not that easy to get very up-to-date COVID information. It's always a little behind. I kind of stopped doing it, Randall, because I feel like we are not seeing we're seeing a fluctuations that are slightly up and down in different parts of the country, and it's still here. And I periodically have patients contact me that they're picked it up, but it quickly gets resolved so far, and I don't have any additional information. I haven't even looked up in a couple of weeks what the current circulating strain is. But at some point over the next few weeks, I'll do my due diligence. I'll give you a little updates. Elisa. Oh, you taking it. That's what you're raising. Okay, got it. All right. Okay. Well, as I said, it's 2:10. I think well, I'm surprised how few people taking the C15. Okay, well, I'm going to change that. If you're my patient, get ready. I'm going to probably talk to you about that sooner or later. All right. Ed, thank you so much again. Let's highlight you and get you started. Janet, I can't highlight Ed. I guess you didn't make me. Yeah, so while we're waiting this, since there's another question. So C15 has a very broad effects of benefits. It's neuroprotective, it's anti-inflammatory, it helps the system to get rid of free radicals. And moreover, it appears that there is a potential even optimization of cellular death. So C15 seems to be a critical for blocking some of the alternative forms of cell death while improving the removal of senescent cells. So it's really so far the only anti-aging supplement that I fully subscribe to. All other supplements that are sold as an anti-aging molecules, in my mind, they all have to be individualized. There is no universal substance except for this one, because we all have to eat X amount of certain fats, and C15 seems to be universal. It's not a prescription, it's a supplement. Right now, it is not on full script. It will be on the full script in a few weeks. Meantime, I'm just going to give everybody a link. So you can come over here and a second. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat if you want to start. And by the way, it's a good timing to talk about this because they have what do you call it? They have a Black Friday thing happening. So check it out. All right, and happy Black Friday, by the way. Great. Ed, thanks so much again. Let's remove my spotlight.
Greetings, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for the background. It's that time of year, guys. That time of year where it's cold. I'm not ready for the cold. Some people are. Um, but then again, we'll be asked which cold are we talking about? Is it the weather or the sniffles? And is that time of the year, that season where we deal with sniffles and all that, and trying to keep warm and become less dormant, or we in the mode of hibernating? That's what I want to talk to you guys about, is being active, staying active, keeping it moving. Because it's colder, some of us, like me, sometimes would rather just stay home with a big cup of coffee or tea and snuggle up and stay indoors, which is a no-no. We have to keep moving. We have to get moving. And it's as if you're stoking the furnace, which could be a forge to mold that tool, and that tool is the body. It's what am I talking about? Is doing things to keep us going, to keep us active. And one of the first things I always talk about is your breath, breathing. Do we remember to breathe? The times we hold a breath, we don't realize we're holding the breath because we're so preoccupied with what's going on around us. And we do need to take a deep breath for the things that are happening around us. We're not going to get into that, but sometimes we have to disconnect so we can stabilize ourselves, right? So I always say it's the rinse cycle, the spinning, and we just have to be centered, find our center and disconnect so we can recalibrate and what's the word? Recalibrate, get ourselves together and get going. So one of the key things that's important is breath, because breath helps connect all the systems that we're dealing with: the muscular system, the skeletal system, the cardiovascular system, the lymph node systems, and so on. Our breath helps to sync all of that. And truth be told, if we don't breathe, none of those systems gonna work. I've been silly, but you know what I mean. So breath is important. Are we breathing? Right? The other interesting thing about breath helps connect awareness, a consciousness to this vessel that we're in, that we control, right? The mind syncing with the body through feeling and manifesting movements within the muscles or execution of the muscles. In Tai Chi, it's called, we say Yi, Chi, Li, meaning mind, intent, energetics, the energy that manifests within the body and execute the body to lift or move. So the breath does all of that. The breath helps sync or connect the mind. It helps you be aware or have more consciousness of what you're doing, which is that practice is called meditation, right? Meditation to me is a process in us finding our center. It's also that, and finding your center, as I say, meditation is finding stillness, not engaging, not connecting with your thoughts, right? So to make it all, to circle around, to circle back, make it make sense. Well, the first thing we wake up in the morning, as we get our thoughts together, we take a deep breath, a deep inhale, exhale. Of course, you want to know where you are, especially those who travel. If you someplace else, you think you're home and you realize you're not, and you get your thoughts together. But breath is the beginning. It's the spark that gets everything going. It's the spark that ignites the furnace, the desire, the movement within. How are we going to start our day? How are we going to go through a day or grow through a day? The older we get, we're still growing because we're still learning, right? My father used to tell me, "You're never too old to learn." So, but then there's a saying, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks." I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of those two things. But anyway, breath is the glue that connects everything together, mind, body, and spirit. And we should not take that for granted. And in this time of the year when we want to do less, we have to do more. We have to do energy work. Energy work, in other words, in Chinese, is called Qigong, which involves the breath. So yes, we exercise, we have to move, very much so. But all exercise does not have to be aggressive. Sometimes just moving a little bit takes more focus and concentration to move less than to move more, which is good. You're moving, right? So basic movements would be circular movements to activate the joints, right? And we have a lot of joints, especially the one in the center known as the spine. You have that, you have your shoulders, you got your elbows, you got your wrists and all the joints in your fingers, right? Your hip joint, which is where a lot of us have issues with, myself included. Then the knees and the ankles and the joints in the feet, right? So all of these have to be activated and we have to move. We have to move. There's no excuse at all, right? Yes, for some of us, there's pain involved, but sometimes if the pain threshold is here, doesn't mean we have to touch it. We can at least move or come close to it. And very interesting enough, the more we move, the body starts to adjust and adapt, which is the great thing about this vessel that we're in. It's easy to say, oh, I'm in pain, I don't want to move. But sometimes moving starts to alleviate the pain. Because when you move, you increase heat in the body. And then, of course, the synovial fluid gets activated for some of us that don't have bone on bone. But there's always that aspect of reversing because the body, let's not forget, heals itself, treats itself if we allow it to. But we have to take onus in doing movements to be healthy. Health in movement, as I always say, movement in health. And it starts from breathing. We take the breath, we relax, we connect, and we do unnecessary exercises, whether it's stretching. The older we get, the more we have to stretch. And stretching is important to activate the body's elasticity, is in activating our connective tissue, the fascia that connects everything, right? We're going to move that, we're going to stretch that, we're going to knead the body. It doesn't have to be aggressive as long as we're moving. For some of us who do Pilates or the yogas or dancers, all that's movement, right? Within that movement, you have to breathe anyway. And the question is, how are you breathing? Sometimes we move aggressively and we have to breathe to calm ourselves down, to get a composure, and so we can keep going. Or we move at a certain pace to maintain that constant stability where you don't go too hard or you don't go too less, but you go at a mean pace or an average pace that's convenient, that's okay for you. And we're consistent with those movements, and there's always improvement. Usually they say 2 weeks if we're consistent. But also, the process stays with the body. We don't forget, which is also unique as well. Sometimes, oh, we got to start all over. Yes, you do, but once you start over, you use the breath, you use the movement, right? And there's certain particular movement that's involved, which could be in circles. In a few minutes, I'll go through some easy exercises that we all could do to help deal with the cold, the winter, right? I know some of you guys love the cold. That's also true, but that's fine. For some of us who are not too particular about the weather, this is a time of year everyone slows down. You know, it's documented. People don't feel as motivated because it's all gray and all that, but all that's in here, I think. Everything is mind, right? If you want to be down, you will be down. But if you find things to do, if you keep yourself motivated, keep yourself moving, and you keep yourself going, what more can you ask for, right? We all want to be healthier, want to be better than what we were before. So these are the little steps that we take or the process that we go through, that we put ourselves through to to be motivated, to ignite the energy within, the desire within, so we can achieve the goals that we want to achieve, whatever those goals are. But it always starts from stillness. Breath is ignition from stillness into movement, and then it circles back to stillness. I hope I'm making sense. I always ask that because it's always a little challenging explaining energy because we forget to feel. And the best way to feel is breathe. Breathe, take a breath, inhale, and you feel the lungs expand. And then you exhale, you feel the lungs empty out. And if you follow the feeling through the body, you can find out where you're tense at. You find the tension points. And then if you teach yourself to follow how the lungs release, then in your mind, you say, I'm going to release that discomfort that I feel. Yes, it's easier said than done, but when you put things into practice and you believe it will work, then it will manifest, it will happen, right? So focus on feeling. How many times do we slow down? As my father would say, slow down and smell the roses. How many times do we find time to just disconnect, like I said earlier, and pause and recalibrate before you jump back into the rinse cycle? It's a pandemonium, right? Yes, we get caught up in that. So we have to disconnect, recalibrate, 40, fortify ourselves, and jump back in, right? But when we disconnect, what are we doing? We find in a center and we breathe in, stay in between the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative, because it's all going on around us. And we got to find out where we are in that space. Are we too negative? We need to be more positive, right? More positive is great. But sometimes, as we know, the ebbs and flows of life, the ups and downs, we can be happy and then boom, there's a crash. But we want to have that happy medium where the jump is not too deep and the climb is not, well, the climb is great, but we're always there. So we drop, we can always come back here. And if we go up, we can always find ourselves coming down. We can always go back and stay up, right? Finding balance. That's what I'm talking about. But like I was saying, feeling. Can you feel your fingertips? Can you feel the top of your head? Is your awareness at the top of your head? In your neck. Feel your shoulders, especially your neck and shoulders. We hold a lot of tension there. You put your awareness there. Can you relax your neck? Can you relax your shoulders? Where do I feel tense? So where's that place that I feel tense? Is it the way I slept? You ask yourself these questions. How can I let that tension go? It could be a soft stretch. It could be some movement. Take a deep breath. And as you release, as you exhale on the release, you imagine that discomfort is leaving the body. But we have to believe in that. And the belief is we believe in what we feel. Think about it, right? You all know the saying, don't touch the stove when we're kids, when we're younger, when we're children. Don't touch the stove. And we didn't listen and we touched the stove one day. We found out why we're supposed to touch. That feeling was a lesson, not to touch the stove that way again, right? So feeling is very important. We forget to feel in this area that we live in. We are always in here, but sometimes the feeling, our heart controls this. But we think this controls this. But they both merge, right? And strange enough, it said that the heart carries more electromagnetic fields than the brain does. So if we feel and talk from here, the heart, then I know I'm preaching to the crowd. You guys already know this, so but I'm reminding because sometimes we do forget. Sometimes I forget what we're capable of doing or what we can do, and sometimes you just got to hear it again or be reminded to say, "Hey, yes, this is possible. I can feel. I can. It's your body. I should be able to feel every part of my body. I can even feel the clothes where it's hanging more, or if it is, we're that sensitive. And those who like to be outside, sit outside. Can you feel the air or the space around you? Can you calm yourself down, settle down, and feel? Even when you're taking your cup of tea or cup of coffee and you absorbing or bringing in nature. For those of us who like to be outside, I'm one of those people. When it's warmer though, but even sometimes I go for walks when it's cold and it's exhilarating as well, right? You hear the leaves, especially the leaves that are down now, and you just connect with nature, but you feel the energy and the air around you. It's different, but you can appreciate it, right? Feeling like the song, not gonna sing, right? But if we start to focus on the feeling of movement, then we can see where and find out where our balance points are, and we move better. And we start to find a way how we can relax and move through movements. So sometimes we move and we're aggressive, we fighting ourselves. But if you relax and find your balance point, you can flow. Um, what more can I say? So to put it all, to wrap it all, breath, movement, feeling in movement, relax, calm down. We can't control things we have no control over. We can only control what we can control or how we feel we can control that, right? And when we get rattled or we're not sure, pause, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, let go. Inhale, exhale, let go. Letting go is another thing. Sometimes we latched on to things. Sometimes we got to let go and let things be and go with the flow. Breath, movement, feeling. Feeling, movement, breath. Breath in feeling of movement. Movement in breath, feeling the flow. We do this without thinking. We do this thinking. We do this with awareness, consciousness. If we're more consistent and consistent with that practice, endless possibilities in health. It's documented. So I'm not making it up. That's why I'm a strong advocate for Tai Chi or Qigong or even exercise in general, right? I know sometimes, excuse me, pardon me. I know sometimes it's hard to get motivated, but the best way I can say is have a routine. You create a routine where you get up in the morning and say, I have to do this. Maybe 5 minutes is okay for starters. Nothing big, small, achievable goals, they say. 5 minutes is good. If 5 minutes is too much, let's do 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes, easy, knock that out. And then before you know it's 5 minutes, before you know, 5 minutes becomes 10, and it's a thing. Uh, I'll leave it there. Um, I think I'm supposed to do some share some guided practices also as well. I'll be more than happy to do that as well. Are we ready for that, guys? Or
Yes,
Janet, how am I doing for time?
you're good on
Hello?
time.
Is anyone there?
You're good on
Oh,
time. It's good.
okay, okay, cool. So I guess we can do some little breathing and small dynamic movement within the context of what I'm saying. Yes, are we ready for that?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and the great thing is we can do this sitting down, right? But I do have one exercise. When I get to that, I swear by, and I'm very actually we'll do that first. I'm very adamant about doing that. That's standing and sitting, and that's to strengthen the legs. Our legs are important. We sit a lot. This particular exercise helps to stretch and strengthen the legs. So we'll start with that, and then we'll do that for a few, and then we'll go back to the other stuff. But it's squats. But for those of us sitting, we can do it sitting. I'll just scoot back on my chair. So all you're gonna do is stand and sit, stand and sit. That's it. But but I want you to focus on your feet and alignments and the legs. That is important because if our legs are not strong, it doesn't help with blood circulation because the blood, gravity cools everything down. And it's the legs that help pump the blood back up. And anyway, enough said. Here we go. I'll scoot back a little bit. Simple exercise. Have your knees right in front of your hips. All right? And all you do is lean forward and stand. Don't lock your joints, keep it slightly bent, and then sit back down. Make sure you relax. Some of us are struggling to stand. You can have your hands on your knees and press on your knees to stand, but it has to be leg work. And you sit. And when you sit, just relax for a second, catch your breath. Inhale. Lean forward and exhale as you push the legs down, stand. Inhale. Exhale as you sit back down. Right? Don't rock forward. This is a controlled movement. I'll turn sides so you can see. It's a controlled movement where I just lean forward and it's all legs. Stand. And I sit back down. I just appeared on you. So it's sitting and it's just standing and sitting. You want your knees above your legs. You do that a couple of times. Do this as often as you can, as frequently as you can. Start with 10 and then do 20. Okay? So sitting back, we want to sit up, hands on your lap, and let's take a deep breath. Let's do 9 breaths. So inhale, breathe into your belly. Exhale. Inhale, breathe into your belly. Exhale, let your belly expand. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, breathe into your belly and your kidneys. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Move your belly, not your chest, just the belly. Inhale, let the belly expand. Exhale. Inhale, feel the body. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. F-E-E-L, the lungs as they expand. Inhale. Exhale. F-E-E-L, feel the lungs as they empty out. See how the body relaxes. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just relax for a second. Just feel what you feel. Put your awareness on your feet. Feel the pressure of your feet on the floor. You seated in your chair on your sit bones. Are you slumped? Are you slouching? Or are you sitting up straight? For this particular exercise, you want to sit up straight. Right? We want to be regal. Right? We're all royalty. So I just want to sit up. Right? But when we breathe, we don't breathe from here because that creates tension between the shoulder blades. We want to relax the chest down. Just breathe into the belly, right? And you notice when you sit up, if you sink the chest, it helps to lift the spine up, which opens up the rib cage, which allows the lungs to really expand and bring in more oxygen into the body, right? One of my favorite exercise, shoulder rolls, rolling your shoulders forward, the big circle. Big circle. So you want to roll the shoulders forward, make a big circle so you feel the stretch, right? You might hear a few clicks here and there. That's okay, as long as it's not too loud. Only you can hear them. That's good. You want a big circle here. This is to move the shoulder blades. And little secret, this is a way to give yourself a self massage, by the way. And then roll the shoulders back the other way. Big circles back. Big circle. Big circle. And relax. And you feel the release there. Right, before we went to the shoulder, we should turn the head. So big circle with the head, look up and around. Actually, do three going one way, two be two. And this is three, and then we go the other way. Big circle, round and down, up, down, and up, down, and then relax. And just shake your shoulders loose. And relax the chest, feel your collarbone, and just relax down. Right? And we'll go with the wrist, just circles with the wrist. Circle in, and then circle around. Do as many as you can. Like you're watching TV, just do that. Circle in, circle out. Don't forget to massage your fingers, right? Those joints. Some of us, I myself, arthritis. That's a mean guy. You want to keep him away. So a little massage for the hands. Stretch the hands out, stretch the fingers, and then make a tight fist and relax the hands. Stretch, tight, clench, extend, and then wiggle the fingers. Wiggle the fingers, and relax the hands, shake the hands loose. Right, and the elbows, circle the elbows in. Nice and easy. So these are all exercises that help open and move the joints, right? So we want to move the joints. Always think of rotating the joints. Right, we did the shoulders, we did the wrists, we did the elbows, and this big joint here. Slowly just twist, look behind you, hold, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and release. Come back and you twist the other way. Sit for 3 breaths. Don't force anything, just look behind you. It's a twist. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and come back and relax. That particular position, you want to have your hand crossed so you can twist the body over and hold, right? And then you put the hand across, your right across the knee and twist and hold. And then from the hips, you want to sit up and relax down. So lift up to open up the hip joint, right? We're trying to open up the inguinal crease there, or the inguinal groove, where the leg connects to the torso. We did that with the standing and sitting, right? So it's the same type of movement when you're standing and sitting, where you fold here, inguinal crease, and when you open up, it's opening up, it's moving the hip joint, the hip socket, right? You can put your hand on the inside of your leg, press your leg and turn. Right, so you press your leg and then you push out with your head, and you feel the hip socket open up a little bit. You can do that, and then you can push your knees out, and you have your hands resisting your knees. Little isometric exercise there for the hip, and then for the iliacus, where it connects to the pelvic bone, make a fist, put it between your knees, and squeeze. And you feel that back area open up a little bit. Nice thing is you just squeeze this all little kind of exercises you can do to help open up the joints, right? Knee, lift, do these, lift up.
Ed, we're having a hard time with the sound. Suddenly you kind of really distant and we can't hear anything. It's not better. Something changed in your settings because we can hear it, but it's very low. Mm-mm. Is that for everybody, by the way? Or is it just me? No, it's very off. It's like as if your sound got connected to something else. Like it's your sound and something shifted. If you don't mind, go under audio settings and double check to make sure that the right microphone is connected. I think that's what changed.
I'm in audio.
There
Can you
we
hear
go.
me?
You just fixed it.
Okay. Maybe it's time for me to get a new phone. I don't know.
Well, you said it.
Anyway, okay, so back to the ankles. I was talking about the ankles. Can you all hear me now better, clearly?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, we do come up on the toes, heel raisers, especially if we sit for a long period of time, we have to come up on the toes so we activate the calves, right? For those who will be traveling and in transit for a long period of time, sitting, you want to do this particular exercise. It's almost like what you call plantar flex when you're pressing your toes down and you pull your toes up, dorsiflex, right? You're pulling your toes up, you sit in and you pull your toes up, you point your toe, pull your toes up, point your toe. That's very important with the feet, and wiggle your toes. How often do we wiggle our toes? All right. So you wiggle your toes, relax your feet, press the balls of your feet down as well as your heels, and then relax. So you press your foot down into the ground, almost as if your feet are cupping the floor. So you press and cup and then relax. Be careful if you're not used to this, you can get cramps right underneath your arches, right? But it's a good exercise to do, right? You press, cup the feet, and relax. And notice when you relax your feet, the area around the ankles relax as well. So you cup on your toes, you lift your toes off the ground, so you're walking your foot back and forth. For those who love good tunes, good music, you're always tapping your toe. That's a good practice, as long as you're tapping both feet. But these are all the joints. These are little exercises I can share with movement. Um, that I think I covered all the joints per se, as far as movement and exercise. Nice and easy, nothing aggressive. You can do it sitting, you can do it behind the desk at the office, right? Most or when you're watching TV. Any questions for me? I can go on. Can you guys still hear me? Hello?
Yes, all is well. Sound is great.
Oh, okay. So recap of everything as far as ideal exercises to do that are not aggressive. The circling of the head to loosen up the neck, right? That's one. Circling of the shoulders, forward and back, right? The twisting and holding, or you can just twist back and forth, right? The rolling of the elbows, right? The loosening of the wrist, you can even do it this way. The fingers, and of course, the knees, the ankles, and the feet. Another key exercise, stretching. So we take an inhale and exhale, stretch the hands out, stretch the spine, stretch the legs. Right, you can stretch your legs out, point the toe. And then when you bend your hands, you bend the legs, pull in, curve the spine, and relax. Right? So stretch out, stretch. You stretch your legs out as well. And then you pull in as you pull your legs in. And you relax. So anytime you stretch your hands out, you stretch the legs. And then when the hands pull in, you pull the legs in. Right? And it's almost as if you're standing and stretching out. And then you sit pulling in. And this particular movement is based on a lot of Qigong movements, but in a circular fashion. So when you're doing all the circles, these are stretches. All the round movements help to open up the body, right? So we twist it in as well, and we twist out. And you do the same with your legs. You turn the toes in, that the toes touch, across, overlap, and then you open up your feet out. You roll your legs out as far as you can, or you roll both legs one side, roll both legs the other side. So you're stretching the muscle all the way up to the hips. You're twisting your legs are extended, you're twisting your legs out as far as you can. Don't force anything now. And you turn the toes in this way. And then you relax down. So all these twisting movements are all stretching. These are all movements to help lengthen the muscles, ligaments, and tendons in a nice, soft way. Nothing aggressive, so you don't pull or pop anything up. I'll leave it there. I can answer any questions you may have any, guys. Any questions for me?
There's a question in the chat. Linda is asking what limbering joint for limbering joints, what time of the day would be best to do this exercises?
It depends on your schedule. I always say when you wake up, you do something light, and you can always do that at the beginning of your day, right? Um, Halfway before the evening, before you have dinner, you can do that too. Because some of this exercise for some people, if you do it late at night, you won't be able to sleep because you've got your energy all revved up. So everyone's different, but ideally when you wake up, when you start your day, you do these exercises and you're good to go at the beginning of your day. Or you can do them throughout the day as well. So it doesn't have to be aggressive. You sit in and you think about, I feel tight, then you do a little something. We always have to be moving, right? And then you relax, and that's it. Better yet, if you create a routine that has better benefits, of course. Anything else? Anybody else? Was that helpful? Let me ask you, did anyone notice a difference for that little short practice, especially with the breathing? Did anyone feel something different, like sitting up and when you were breathing in through your belly? Were you able to feel the body expand and release? If you were able to do so.
If anybody wants to unmute themselves and respond, you can.
If you felt that, that was the beginning of the practice in the first step in paying attention to the body. I'm not saying that we don't, but we do. We do pay attention, but not enough, right? Ideally, this is what I would say. This is what qigong teaches. This is what Tai Chi is supposed to teach. Someone had a question that they want to ask me directly. I saw that briefly in the text. I saw. Please ask me a question. Pretty please. Are we all shy? I don't think we're all shy, are we?
Okay, so I got everything straight now. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Mr. Stay Well Man.
There's questions in the chat here, so I think you can go through them. Well, I put one in there. What about for low backaches for senior citizens? What do you recommend are the best motions?
Lower back aches. Wow. Could be a lot of things to that. Do you sit a lot? How long do you sit for?
Well, it's for my father. If he's like prolonged sitting in a couch and then he gets up and then he has these pains. So like, what Tai Chi motions would you guide for that?
For that would be the standing and sitting exercise to start as to his capabilities. So remember, when we sit for long periods of time, the muscle on the inside of our leg, the psoas muscle connects to the lower back, that shrinks.
Mm.
So when you jump up or start, if you're a weekend warrior like I used to be, it took me a long time to realize that it pulls on your back. So yes. So it'll have to be soft massages. Actually, another exercise he can do is just once he's able to stand, have him stand for 2 minutes without taking a step forward or anything, like just stand.
Just okay.
That's
Any motions he can do, like range of motion, anything he
no,
can
no,
do?
just stand for
Just
two
stand. Okay.
minutes. Just stand. That's actually this. I'll say this real quickly. One of the ideal Tai Chi practices is called Zhang Zhuan.
Zhang
And
Chuan.
Zhang Zhuan is called standing tree pose. And the way I was trained was to stand in that position for up to an hour. That means you're standing, you're not moving left, right, or you're just centered and you stand in this position. Oh, you find out a lot about yourself. That it's
Thanks for
not
sharing that. That's very useful. I'll share that with them. Yeah, thank you.
start with 2 minutes. He's not. No one's gonna stand for an hour. It's challenging, but yes, just stand for a minute, 2 minutes. But that helps to open up the body, and then you can gradually start moving around. To answer that, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi there, it's Mark from New Zealand.
Hi,
It's
Mark.
Saturday morning. Hi, it's Saturday morning here. Just wanted to ask, I left a message in the chat, but you may not have seen it. What would be an optimal length of time for this kind of practice? I mean, you've just mentioned 2 minutes and so on, and you've said that it can be done through the day, but do you have any sort of information or experience as to sort of what tends to be the sweet spot on the length of time that someone should be doing these practices on a daily basis, or a length of time of each session?
For beginners, see, I was taught the old school way, but I'd say now everyone's busy and doing stuff. If you can find 10 minutes in your day to get started, anywhere from, because 5 minutes is not much time, I'd say 10, 15 minutes, right? of your day. If you're a busy guy, 10, 15 minutes works. But if you have time, then we have to make time, to be honest, right? So if you make time, it will be anywhere from 45 to an hour. Ideally, to get the full energetic thing of Tai Chi, the way I was taught, we stood for 1 hour before we even started doing movements and forms. So that's the old school way of doing things. But ideally, if you have 10, 15 minutes, you do that, and then you build, you increase the time as you get better, as you get more familiar with it. You know, it's better to do
I
something
think
for
that's a great answer.
a limited amount of time than not doing nothing at all. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think too that helps build expectation so that you can start with the basic and get people on board with something simple and short term. And then as they feel the benefit and they feel the reward and they can see what's going on and they build their experience, then you can also set the future expectation to be about an hour, 45 minutes. So that's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Anyone going to try and stand for 10 minutes? Oh, another point to make too. I spoke about standing and not moving for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes or more. That same practice can be done sitting as well. So if you don't feel like standing, you can always sit up straight and relax your shoulders and close your eyes, have a timer, and get it started.
And
And then
breathe.
right. Most importantly, breathe.
All right, Edward, thank you so much for joining us again. Um, everybody, make sure you show Edward some love in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and let him know anything. Misha, do you have anything to tell folks? You're muted, Misha.
No, not really. Well, happy Thanksgiving. We're not going to see you next Friday. We'll see you after. It's exciting that Dr. Ashraf was here asking great questions. Hello, Dr. Ashraf. Yeah, other than that, everybody stay healthy, practice movement, take C15.
Thank you guys for having me.